Welcome back. It is Erick Erickson. The phone number is 877-97-ERIC, 877-973-7425. To the folds, we go to Jerry. Welcome. How are you?
Hey, Eric, doing well. Hey, congratulations on all your success. I'm
Thank you.
very happy for
Thanks
you.
very much.
Hey, yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem. Real quick, hey, you were talking last hour about China and how they were using distractions going on here in the United States and elsewhere to deflect to what's going on within their country. And you mentioned another organization as well. And here's a perfect example you forgot to use, and that was the media and the left. And this Politico story you were talking about, of all the stories and everything that's going on in this country and in this world, that's the story they decide to run with. Well, they do it, of course, because it's a distraction to everybody else in terms of what's actually happening and what's going on and the policies that are being thrown out there everywhere. And the media is just really, really good at that. And so I just wanted to point that out as well, that the media is another great example where they will definitely use stories to distract. And they don't want to get rid of Trump. They love Trump. He is the one that they can just pound on and use as a deflection, again, to all the policies that are being thrown about and talked about. That, of course, are much more important. I just want to point that out to you.
Yeah, look, I think that's well said that they have been doing this. Anytime they can make it a Trump angle, they will. Just wait for inflation to hit. They will find new and creative ways to say it's really Donald Trump's fault and not Joe Biden's fault. I mean, look at the gas situation. Donald Trump allowed drilling on federal land, allowed pipelines, and sided with Saudi Arabia in the Yemeni situation after the Yemeni terrorists started trying to blow up Saudi oil refineries. It caused gas prices in this country to go down, and for the first time in this country, in a very long time, we were energy independent. We were actually a net energy exporter, which hadn't happened in a very long time, but it happened thanks to Donald Trump. And the media blasted the president of the United States out of environmental concerns. Joe Biden comes back in and says that he's going to get rid of all this stuff. And then what happens? Gas prices go back up, and the media can't even cover the rise in gas prices. To the extent they do, they want to claim that it's all because of the pipeline situation, when it's not really. The media is in the tank for the Democrats, and the more that people realize it, the more that people are willing to understand and appreciate that the media is just a mouthpiece for the. And, you know, I get blasted by liberals all the time. You're in the media. Well, I'm in it. I'm not of it. I happen to have a radio show. I am not a talking head on TV. I used to be, but the reporters, the editors, the newspaper publishers, those who control the American political press. By the way, it's proof the Jews aren't in charge, given the rampant anti-Semitism in the press and the hatred of Israel. But the wokes certainly are in charge of the press these days. And anything they can do to blame Donald Trump, they are absolutely going to blame Donald Trump. We need, by the way, I'm sure PPP, this will be blamed on him as well. You know, the media often laments local news, the collapse of local news. And I'm a big proponent of local news. Local news tends to be fairer. It tends to be closer to the sources. It tends to do a better job of exposing local corruption. There's a newspaper near me here in Middle Georgia where I am. The Monroe County Reporter, they've run a terrific story. Details of 700 Forsyth businesses. This is Forsyth, Georgia, in Monroe County. Details of 700 Forsyth businesses that got forgivable loans totaling $24 million under the Paycheck Protection Program last year during the COVID shutdown are raising questions about whether all the money went to legitimate businesses. While most recipients appear to be actual Forsyth businesses that needed payroll help during the nationwide shutdown, others seem suspect. For instance, 20 of those 700 businesses are apparently run by former state inmates who used 300 Patrol Road, the Tift College home of the Department of Corrections, as their home address. And one $20,000 loan went to a Union Hill Drive taxi business that doesn't seem to exist. The federal government has posted details about which businesses in Monroe County got the forgivable loans created by the federal government in 2020. Most of the loans are forgiven if companies spend at least 60% on wages. According to figures released by the Small Business Administration, around 714 Forsyth businesses took advantage of the program, They received $24.5 million, including 28 barbershops and 58 beauty salons. 20 businesses used the Georgia Department of Corrections address, and it seems that many of them don't actually exist.
15.
This is one county in Georgia. Now expand that nationwide and think of all the money that was scammed. Welcome back. It is Erick Erickson here. The phone number is 877-97-ERIC, 877-973-7425. This hour of the program is sponsored by my friends at First Liberty Building and Loan. They are in Noonan, Georgia. Nationwide, they can help you. If you need to get a loan to grow your business, we're talking six figures and higher. They want to help you. Just spend 10 minutes with them. Go to firstlibertyga.com. Firstlibertyga.com. Give them a call. Tell them I sent you. And see if they can help you. They want to help you get to yes, where so many banks these days are saying no. I got to talk about the culture war for a moment. Nike has probably released one of the worst ads I have ever seen. This ad is craptacular. It is terrible. It is a Nike ad for the WNBA. And Nike wants you to know the reason that the WNBA sucks is because you're not watching it. This is the message of the ad. I cannot remember a more spectacularly terrible ad. They start the ad. I don't need to play you the down the line because it's just music. But it's like chartreusey green. And it begins, the problem isn't that we're lacking MVPs in the ad, and it shows some people who are apparently MVPs. And then we aren't skipping on free throws, and the problem isn't that we don't dunk, and it shows someone dunking. The problem isn't due to a lack of trash talk, and it shows them. And it isn't a lack of speaking up for what we believe in, and it shows them taking a knee. The problem with the NBA is you're not watching. That's right. That's the ad. I didn't even know. I have lived in Georgia since 1993. I have been on the radio in Atlanta, Georgia since 2011. I did not even know Atlanta had a WNBA team until Kelly Loeffler, one of the co-owners, ran for the United States Senate. What was it? The Atlanta Nightmares, the name of the team? I had no idea Atlanta had a WNBA. Who watches the WNBA? No one? And that's Nike's problem. They've invested money in this, and apparently you're not woke because you're watching the NBA. Now, this is, again, one of the crazy things. It's not for a lack of speaking up for what we believe in. And then it shows players taking a knee, wearing Black Lives Matter shirts, and then shows them bent over saying, say her name. Oh, yes. We want to watch the WNBA because they do political activism on the court. That's the ticket. Apparently, you are a racist bigot for not watching the WNBA, and I'm going to keep not watching. I will not watch with even more gusto. How about that? It's ridiculous. It's only a matter of time before they hire C.C. Telfer. C.C. Telfer is the guy who was not a very good track athlete, who is now a very good track athlete because Craig, his real name is Craig, now called C.C. Telfer, has decided to try out for the U.S. Olympic qualifiers in the women's category. Now, I need to put this in perspective for you. Craig Telfer in 2016 was ranked 200th among male track stars in the NCAA. In 2017, Craig Telfer was ranked 390th among male track stars. In 2018, Craig Telfer became C.C. Telfer, transitioning to a woman, and in 2019 became national champion. And now is running to be a Olympic athlete. This is from the New York Times. For my people, a transgender woman pursues an Olympic dream. C.C. Telfer, the first openly transgender woman to win an NCAA title, is aiming to qualify for the U.S. Olympic trials in the 400-meter hurdle. Her biggest obstacle for now is a lack of training facilities. Aww. During a drive on a steep, winding road in the small town, it would not be surprising these days to see an elite hurdler jump into the bushes to avoid being hit by a car. That hurdler Cece Telfer, is hoping to qualify for the U.S. Olympic trials, which begin June 18th in Eugene, Oregon. The asphalt road is her primary training facility. In 2019, Telfer became the first openly transgender woman to win an NCAA title. He was a fifth-year senior at Franklin Pierce University, a Division II school in Rindge, North Carolina. Now he's among a handful of transgender women seeking to reach the Tokyo Games, which begin in late July. Olympic historians say that no athletes at the Winter or Summer Games have publicly identified as transgender when they competed. At least two announced that they were transgender sometime later, including Caitlyn Jenner, who won a gold medal in the decathlon in 1976, competing against men. Some athletes who identify publicly as transgender will most likely compete this summer in Tokyo at the Olympics and Paralympics, though many competitors are still attempting to qualify. Yet even as opportunities for transgender athletes have opened up at the college and Olympic level, there's been a spike in state legislation across the United States to bar transgender athletes, mainly younger boys, but the New York Times says girls, from competing on teams that match their gender identity. Let's just go back to the data, please. Let's go back to the data. Craig Telfer was no good as a male track star. In 2017, Craig Telfer was ranked 390th. Suddenly, Telfer declares he's a she and is national champion, going from 390th to first place solely by deciding to compete against the girls. What of the legit girls who busted their butts and can't beat the boy? By the way, you know, what Craig Telfer, now Cece Telfer, has done is to prove that men are also better at being women than women when it comes to sports. I mean, take one for the team, man. You're proving that men are. I mean, listen, Bruce Jenner is a better female decathlon star than your standard female decathlon star. The problem here is the woke sports, treating this as if it's normal, treating this as if it's okay. Taking a guy who is 390th among male NCAA track stars and, well, of course, she's number one. She's the best there is. No, he's not. The mainstreaming of this level of insanity corresponds with Nike running advertisements telling you that you not watching the WNBA is a problem. After all, they take knees in protest. They're showing you they care. And it's all your fault, you bigots, for not watching the women play. The amount of shame, and this goes to something I talked about earlier, the Biden administration has never, contrary to what the media would have you believe, the Biden administration has never had to put into effect regulations to make you eat less meat. They've never had to do that. What they've done is they've run a series of stories guilting you for daring to eat beef. What they've done is they've gotten the media on their side. And with the media on their side, they can bully and cajole you. They don't. The Biden administration doesn't have to do it in and of itself. But it's not just that. Hang on a second. I thought I had linked this story. This is my kid. When both of my kids were really young, they liked Blue's Clues. Here's the headline from the New York Post. It's I go here because the Today Show did a story and they're just absolutely enthusiastic. Blue's Clues teams up with drag queen Nina West for Pride Month. Blue's Clues is going on parade, a pride parade. A new sing-along for the preschool crowd posted to Nickelodeon's YouTube channel this week shows the beloved cartoon pup in a sing-along with families led by RuPaul Drag Race star Nina West. The Blue's Clues Pride Parade sing-along featuring Nina West includes a cartoon version of the drag queen crooning about all different kinds of families, including those with trans, non-binary, lesbian, and gay parents. This family has two mommies. They love each other so proudly, and they all go marching in the big parade, West sings, as each family, depicted as different animals, including alligators, cats, and bears, pass by her. All families are made differently, and they love each other so proudly. She also sings in the video, which has racked up 17,000 likes as of Saturday. Now, there are a couple of things to say here. First and foremost, this isn't on the TV show. This is on the YouTube channel. But also, this is only the beginning. The normalization of transgenderism, of drag queen story time. Now, listen, if you're a parent and you disagree culturally with this stuff, you can opt out. Except, can you really? For now, yes, you can. But how much longer? It is pervasive. It is everywhere. And it is in your face. The Biden administration is flying a gay pride flag at the Vatican embassy this week. And they're going to keep it there all month for Pride Month. Because it's not just a week, it's a whole month. And then there's another event in October or some such. The whole month, the Biden administration. Now, this is virtue signaling. They don't really mean it. They can't do anything. But are they going to fly it in Pakistan? Yeah, damn right they're not going to. They're not going to fly it in Saudi Arabia. They're not going to fly it in the United Arab Emirates. They're sure as heck not going to fly it in Lebanon or Iraq or Somalia or Egypt. They're flying it at the Vatican. After months of these fawning profiles over Mr. Catholic Joe Biden, he's just so Catholic, they're flying the gay pride flag in the Vatican to show the human rights of the LGBTQIAATPP plus community. And that the bigots in the Vatican don't want to go along with it. But, the bigots in Pakistan don't either. The difference is that no one in the Vatican is going to strap a suicide vest on themselves and try to blow up the embassy, unlike what would happen in many Middle Eastern countries. They can virtue signal at no risk. And is it really virtuous when there's no risk? The media, of course, is fawning over this. Oh, it's so in your face to the Pope. Stick it to the Pope. But what about the Middle East? Will they stand up for those values in the Middle East? Again, it's not really virtuous or courageous when it is without consequence. The left, who are the culture warriors here? Who really are the culture warriors? Is it you who likes the status quo just fine, or is it the left that insists that we treat boys as girls when they want to be? That insists the Vatican abandon 2,000 years of Christian orthodoxy? Is it the left or is it the right? Because I don't really see any warriors on the right out there fighting to advance an agenda. I see people on the right say, wait a second, guys. This kind of doesn't make sense. Even in your own vernacular. I mean, you're not just at war with biology. You're literally at war with grammar. Calling a single person plural. It's at war with basic English language. It's not sustainable. And yet they continue to advance. And you're the bigot if you disagree. You're the person who has to be silenced if you disagree. You're just trying to protect your kid from the world. Now, the things of the world, this is, by the way, as well as why Black Lives Matter is incompatible, I think, with, even basic Christianity, because it is of the world. It is a worldliness. It isn't filled with the gospel grace or hope. It is condemnation. It's also just cheap virtue signaling. It makes the left feel good. And then they get to tell you, oh, well, you're not going along with this. You're a culture warrior bigot. You're an intolerant person. Or maybe I just don't really want to have to explain to my kid what a drag queen is because it leads them down to a series of questions that really I don't think my child needs to know at this point. If you want to send your kid off to drag queen story time at the local library, go for it. Just don't expect the rest of us to do it and don't condemn us for not going in. But that's what's actually happening. They will make you care. You will be made to care. You will be forced to do it or else you will be punished. You will be forced to show up for this stuff. You will be forced to embrace the left's secular cultural agenda or else they'll silence you in one way or fashion. They will come for you and really they're coming for your kids. It's on the YouTube today. It'll be on the main TV show tomorrow. It's just, this is to be expected with the cultural left. And yet somehow you're the culture warrior.
You can follow Erick around social media at EW Erickson on Twitter,